Good morning, Destiny Achievers, Dynasty Creating Entrepreneurs. My name is Donna Lovette, and I want to thank you for being on day 14. We're on day 14 of this 30-day momentum building experience where the goal is for you to end these 30 days with some serious momentum toward accomplishing your purpose, your destiny, or any other goals that you have developed while we started this. So day 14, I am excited about what we're going to cover over these next couple of days. Now, today we're going to talk about something and you're going to see me reading, because I want to read the definition of this. We are going to cover something that's called moral strength, courage in the face of challenges or difficulties, how to have the character strength to do what is right, regardless of what you feel, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of how difficult it is to do it. You do what is right just because it is right, whether anybody is watching you or not. How do you stand and have the courage to have this kind of moral courage? Now you might think, no big thing, but you know what? I'm finding as you look out here in society, this is not as easy for some as you would think. So let me give you a few examples so you can do some self-examination to see where you are in terms of the ability to have the courage to stand on moral strength. Here's a personal example. I am doing this tape, I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video during the time of the COVID pandemic in our country. And as a result, there are couples who are now working at home. And because they're working at home, they are around each other 24 hours and finding that they are irritating each other. I have some couples that are living in opposite sides of the family because you just get on my nerve. But what's worse is that there have been a bunch of what's called pandemic divorces because of couples being around each other. There have been stories of a guy or a girl or a young lady or a woman in another room FaceTiming somebody else other than their husband or their wife. So how do you have, if I'm irritated and I'm frustrated and I'm not happy, how do I, in spite of what I feel, have the moral courage to stand up for what is right? Because you made the vow, for better or for worse, till death do us part. I'm not going to leave you just because things get difficult. How do you have the moral courage, the strength to be able to do that? Interesting. Some have not found that strength. Suppose you have a business and your business is having some financial struggles. So here are some challenges. A client pays you cash, and you might be thinking, you know what? I may not have to report this to the IRS because you're going to figure out some way of not paying the taxes that you're obligated to pay. You might find that you lie and exaggerate, the kind of things you can do in your business because you think that's what's necessary for you to recruit new clients. So you exaggerate, knowing that you are not going to be able to do everything that you said everything you promised. So are you willing to be honest if that means that that client may not come to use your business, as opposed to maybe doing what you need to do to step up your business? So another example, there have been businesses that have cut corners. Now it's one thing, they cut corners on quality of service. So I'm going to charge you the same, but what I'm going to do is offer you less. And I'm going to find ways to cut corners because making a profit, and that's the key, making a profit is more important than providing quality service to you. I heard some examples of that even this week. And so are you willing to take the moral courage to put quality service and trust that if I give quality service, the income will come? Strength of courage to do that. Here's another example, and I know all of you have experienced this. Your customer service, the person who's answering your phone, you're providing good customer service. I've had this happen. Happened to you where you pick up the phone and this is how the person answers. Hello. What do you want? No, they're not available right now. I don't know when they're going to be here. That answer to the question, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They have this attitude where you are bothering them, and they are definitely not interested in doing what is necessary to provide you quality service. Now, that person might have had a rough day. They might have had an argument with their husband at home, but can you push aside your feelings and what you're going through, and out of strength of character know that it is your obligation to provide quality customer service? So to be pleasant and to be helpful in spite of how you feel. Moral strength and courage to do it in spite of. Now you might find that you are irritated. You deal with, we've all dealt with people that are irritating. So what do you do when you find somebody that's irritating and you're just getting on my nerves? So do you react with an attitude because that person's getting on your nerves? Or can you make the decision that I'm going to be pleasant, I'm going to act with mercy and kindness in spite of the fact that your personality or the way you handle things might be irritating? How do you handle conflict? It's interesting how in our country people are handling conflict this day. Can I handle conflict respectfully? Can I respect the value of our relationship? If you're a client, if you're a customer, if you're a family, if you're a friend, or even a stranger, can I respect the value of the relationship, however that is, enough to hear you, to listen to you, to acknowledge that you might see things differently than me, as opposed to wanting to be right? And if you don't agree with me, then there's something wrong with you. And then all of a sudden we're in this battle where I'm ready to fight you for having an opinion that differs from mine. Are you willing to have strength of character where you respect and see people with respect, treat people with respect just because they're people? We all deserve that. I've had clients where there could have been potential conflict, but because I valued the relationship, I just chose to go high. You know what I'm saying? The statement that when others go low, you go high. I decided to take the high road. And what that meant is that I was willing to yield and willing to say, okay, I'll do, even though that's not what I promised, even though that's not my understanding, I'm willing to yield to that for the sake of peace. And when I've done that with clients, I've had clients that will stay with me. I've had clients who will refer people to me. They stay happy with me, as opposed to, no, this is what I said, and you got to do it my way. You lose people that way. It takes moral courage when someone is challenging a rule or challenging a decision or challenging a commitment that you've made, for you to say, in this regard, I'm not going to fight to be right. I'm going to deal with this person with mercy and be pleasant and with compassion. Can you do that? It takes moral courage to do that when you have someone who is not pleasant with you. There is how can I say this? So this is the ability to do what is right just because it's right. You know what? In our day and age, sometimes people don't always know what's right. Isn't that interesting? There are classes on ethics. There's a university class on ethics because people, you can't assume that people know what's right. But there are some core values that I believe that we all have as human beings. And so, are you willing to do what's right even when nobody is looking? Moral courage. There is a reaping of what you sow. And how you treat people, how you handle things, you will reap that. And if you think you're going to cut corners and do things underhanded behind the back because nobody can see what you do and you're going to get away with that, there's a spiritual law that will tell you that you won't. That'll come back on you somehow. So if I'm wanting to have a good, solid business and success in what I do, I need to have the moral character and have the courage to do what was right, regardless of what I feel, regardless of how difficult it is to do it, regardless, I just do what is right. Does your family, your friends, your clients, do they see you as that have that kind of character that they can trust that you're going to do what's right? I would see that as important, don't you? So I'm going to talk about some other spiritual laws. That's coming up because there are some things you need to operate your business and your life in sync with some spiritual, natural laws if you're going to be successful. You violate those, it's not going to be good for you. So what I want to do is I want to thank you. I want to know what you think about this. I'm sure some of you have dealt with people, horrible customer service. Share with me your reaction or experiences that you've had with some of the scenarios that I shared with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to like it. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube. I'm working to get to 1,000 people and more. So subscribe to my station. Refer someone. If you find what I'm doing valuable, they can start at day one. Their 30-day can start at day one. But refer this to someone if you find this helpful. But I'm also interested in hearing and seeing your comments. Tell me what you think. If you're watching this on Facebook and or my own Facebook type platform, like it. And I also want to hear your response. If you found this interesting, wait to hear what I share with you tomorrow. I look forward to it already. Thank you for joining me on this journey from destiny to dynasty. We're doing this together. And I pray that you have an amazingly successful day. Until tomorrow morning, be blessed.